After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Sound art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it sound art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
Just down Allentown Road from the University of Northwestern Ohio, take a right on a Dutch Hollow, and before you will lie the high-banked quarter-mile dirt mixing bowl known as Limaland Motorsports Park. Welcome, race fans, to PitStop TV. Trey Patton joins me on the mic this evening. Trey Shuttlesworth is on our social media coverage. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV, and this is PitStop TV's live coverage of the BRP iRacing series. Thank you for tuning in across our multiple platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. We know you have a ton of options when it comes to watching iRacing broadcasts, but we thank you for supporting us. We join you tonight from the virtual Lima, Ohio for the second round of the BRP iRacing series Big Block Modified Tour. The stars and the cars of BRP unloading here in Lima, Ohio. You can see the track very slicked up, the groove totally worked in, and you can tell just how bumpy these straightaways get here in the Ohio mud. And boy, these big blocks look pretty good around this little bull ring.
Absolutely. I've just been watching around in practice. You know, we were mentioning earlier how much iRacing has improved with just watching the dust kick up behind these cars, and especially just seeing these new cars on the sim and just how much iRacing has gotten a lot better with the dirt production and things. It just makes it a heck of a time to just sit here and watch these guys go around.
Absolutely, it's something special getting to see how iRacing has evolved, even just over the few years that I've been on the service. Tons of big steps, and I think you can say the same.
Absolutely.
So as we get ready to go into our second race of the season, we've got plenty of races up ahead, but we've got to think about what we had last week, last Monday night at Volusia. This is what it looks like on the far side of it. Kevin Hebert, he won, he gets the points lead, but tied with Brett Haas, who just found out he is going to be a dad. Congratulations to Brett Haas, not only on being a dad here soon, but also sharing that points lead currently coming into round number 2. Ryan Susi, he's only 6 points back. Then it's Travis Miller, Joe Matthews, your top 5.
6th, we have AJ Albretta. 7th, Dylan Davidson, as we mentioned, from going up from the booth down to the racetrack. Pretty solid run last week. Cody Higbee in 8th. Brian Berger 9th, and Michael Hackett in 10th.
So the big names getting mixed around here early after one race, but I would imagine that we'll see the same cream rise to the top here soon. That said, Kevin Hebert, a new one to add to our radar here. Trey, you mentioned before we went live that he's looking like he is the guy so far here in the very young season of the Big Block Modified to the BRP iRacing series. He is certainly looking pretty good. There's his black and seafoam green, number 71. And boy, it's looking pretty good. He's 3rd right now in practice. It looks like he's gotten a ton of speed just from unloading these first couple of races.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just looking at that paint scheme, as we mentioned last week, there are some really, really nice paint schemes that we've seen just roll out in this series. And just looking at that 71, it's just, from a designer standpoint and from a fan standpoint, that is very aesthetically pleasing. Just it's not too harsh on the eyes. It stands out under the lights, and just it goes well, I guess, on dirt per se. Just with the background itself that it's on, you can't take your eyes off of it.
It definitely stands out, a bit like neon yellow, I think, against the yellow and red and brown dirts that you see nationwide. The seafoam green definitely stands out. It's kind of that in-between blue and green. And in the dark, it almost looks a bit more blue, but in the light, I think it's definitely a bit green. Maxime Plant, the gentleman, up top of our practice standings, top of the speed charts. And it's Ryan Susi, mentioned Kevin Hebert in third, Dean Meitzler fourth, Adam Hilton fifth, Michael Wenner in sixth, then it's AJ Albretta, one of the newcomers, Brett Haas, the number 97 of Cody Higbee, and Travis Miller wrapping up the top 10 through our practice times. These guys have had 25 minutes to get a lap down. Now they get to do it all over again, work in the new racetrack once we prep this thing just a little bit and try to do their best in qualifying. They'll have a couple of laps to do so. Trey, if you had to put your money on somebody, who would it be?
I don't consider myself a betting man, but between the three people I'd go through, and I'll pick three and then I'll narrow it down to one. Travis Miller, you can't count the man out on dirt. We saw he kind of had a quiet start last week. We know he was dominant in the sprint cars here last season, and we saw him last night in the Bluegrass Chili Bowl. He's quick on dirt. Can't count out Maxime Plant or Kevin Hebert, but if I'm going to put money on it, I got to say Kevin Hebert.
Well, there you go. That is Trey Patton's pick. I'm not going to make a fool of myself, so I don't want to pick anybody here yet, but we'll watch these times come in, and we'll see who goes to the top of the board. So far, it's AJ Albretta, one of the newcomers, but in that Beef Esports camp, sporting the number 22, much like his teammate Travis Miller. I completely blanked, but you can see the Beef logo there on the quarter panels. Brett Haas, the new father of the series, unseats him up top of the board. Hunter Holberg, Double H, going second place. Michael Wenner now going to pop up into third, and we'll see where the rest of these drivers fit in to our qualifying speeds. But so far, Brett Haas, top of them all.
Yeah, Kevin Hebert right now slotted himself into that third spot. Watching, not quite sure who that was. Here's Travis Miller. Looks like Hebert's actually knocked himself down to fourth. Travis Miller slotted himself, looks like I lost his position.
Travis Miller's going to go 15th quickest. We're
15th.
Looking at the 45 here of Jamie Porter. I think we saw his name at Volusia last week, but there wasn't a ton of hype around it necessarily, but he almost went 13th quick, now 14th quick here in qualifying, which is not bad at all. Pretty solid, I'd say, for the 45 machine. I remember somebody out in the chat saying he was number 45 on the scorecard, but number 1 in their hearts. Here's the 3T of Thomas Richard. He'll be scored as a 300 the rest of the season. That's why you see a 300 in third place. He's actually gone third quick. It is looking pretty darn good. Ryan Susi running some extra laps. Here's his number 38 machine here in qualifying, and they are the last two cars on the speedway. So we have some 28 machines that have unloaded. Corey the Beef Daniels, the slowest of them all. Let's go over our race format, because we know that was a big discrepancy last week, of course. It has changed from our 360 sprint car season, and we now have 8-lap heats where we take 4 drivers from each heat and transfer them straight into the main. There are up to 4 of those, so that accommodates up to 32 drivers. We have 10-lap consolation races. 5 will transfer from each of those. So essentially, we can get up to a 26-car field from as many as 32 that register. We set those by taking, again, the top 4 of 4 different heats. That's 16. Then 2 10-lap consies. 5 will transfer from each of those. That brings our total from 16 to 26. And there we go. So it's not really the alphabet soup that it seemed like it was 1 week ago. We actually have a bit more of a clue as to how that all works out. And let's go right down the first starting grid of the evening, actually, with Brett Haas Well, he went quickest in qualifying. He's going to start on pole here for heat number 1. Only 7 drivers in this one. Then it's going to be Kevin Hebert to his outside. Row 2 gives us Ryan Susi and Dean Meitzler. Row 3 will give us the 484 of Michael Hackett and the 11 of Alan Wills. And finally, wrapping things up here for heat number 1, going to be Gavin Eisel in the number 18.
Ready to see some action going on here. You know, Brett Haas, obviously fast qualifying. Then we got Kevin Hebert right to his outside, so I'm anxious to see how quick this top comes into play, because we saw last week, as he mentioned, his girlfriend told him that the top was quick. So just from what I'm seeing here, the top seems to be a little bit quick tonight, so I wonder if we're going to see a little bit of that happen tonight.
Well, the bottom's going to give these guys the most speed to start out, I'd say. That's just generally the way Limaland goes, is you can run that bottom side, even the middle a little bit, but once that starts to dry out, once the speed starts to go away, they will quickly move up towards the wall, and they will start rim riding and working that cushion in. So we're going to see these guys totally evolve the racetrack and change things up over the course of the evening. Getting ready to go for our first of 4 8-lap heats. Looking from the back end of Brett Haas's car at the Hungry Field behind him. Let's see what he can do for 8 laps. Can he hold on to P number 1? We're going to find out. Gets a decent launch, but can't quite clear Hebert just yet.
Going down in the down the back straightaway, Brett Haas still up front. Kevin Hebert trying to run to that outside. Hasn't quite made it work yet. He's going to be on the back bumper, still going side by side into turn number 1.
Out of turn number 2 on lap number 2. Haas clears him, gets up in front. Here comes Hebert, the crossover. He's actually going to get to the inside, and that was... Oh, he's going to turn him over! Netcode throws Brett Haas into a flip. What in the world?
Man.
That's some of the worst netcode I've seen in a fat minute. That was awful. There wasn't even any kind of erratic move from either car, and that's going to throw Brett Haas into a complete flip and throw him out of P number 1, force him to come from the back of the field. That was not good. That was terrible.
Yeah, it looks like as if Hebert has apologized, but he's been given an EOL penalty. But we're going to get another look at that here, because that was straight up netcode. There was nothing that Hebert could have done about that.
Green flag.
Yeah, he got a really good jump there on the field. You see Hebert already trying down on the bottom, trying to make up some ground. You see Brett Haas up on the top side. These guys haven't really made much ground. Ryan Susi is just gapping himself from the rest of the field. So from the looks of it now, it looks like they're going to stay about the same.
Move on. We'll see how the rest of things shake out here to start heat number 2. Hunter Holberg, first place. Then it's Michael Winner in second. Going on to third, it's going to be Cody Higbee. Then fourth, it's going to be Jamie Porter. Going back to row number 3, David DiPietro and Adam Hilton. And finally, to round out heat number 2, it's going to be Dan Sider in the number 84. I think we're having an audio issue there for a moment, but I was giving some shade to Michael Hackett, saying he's going to finish second place in that heat, much like hopefully the Bills do this weekend. And I think he'll love that little comment when he watches us back. But yeah, as a Patriots fan, you got to give a little bit of shade out there to Bills fandom, Bills Mafia. It's
absolutely.
What it's gonna be. I don't want it to happen as a Patriots fan, but what I'm expecting at this point is a Tom Brady and Buffalo Bills Super Bowl, which never would have happened, for the last 22 years, but now suddenly, because he goes to Tampa Bay, it's going to happen. Anyways, we'll get back to dirt racing here as Hunter Holberg, Double H, going to roll off P1 here for heat number 2. We'll see what he can do against the 6 other drivers in this second heat. Out of turn number 4, we'll let him go, we'll turn him loose, and they are green flag.
Pretty fair, equal restart. Michael Winter all the way up to the top side, and not going to get much of a surge out of turn 2. I say that he actually scrapes the wall a little bit. That's going to knock him back. Looks like Holberg is going to find himself up to the top side and actually lead lap number 1.
Down the backstretch they go, 2-3 wide for the back there. Only 7 cars, but they're fighting like they've got 20 out there. And out of 4, wow, Cody Higbee digging that bottom side. Remember, I told you that bottom side's going to be pretty fast here with this fresh, tacky track. Holberg working the top, though, gets that big run down the backstretch, and they're still racing 2-3 wide through 3 and 4.
Yeah, Higbee using that bottom, as you mentioned, but I see Holberg starting to use that top. You know, the track's a little bit, as you said, a little tacky right now.
Whoa, Hilton!
Hilton around. Oh, I thought he flipped it first, but he's just kind of written to get that thing refired. We're going to still be green. Higbee still up front, Holberg following suit.
Yeah, how about this run from Cody Higbee? He's got a lot of speed in that 97, particularly on the bottom side. We'll see how that changes throughout the night. Holberg ripping the top. We don't really have a groove up there just yet, but the track is it's cleared off. It's got a pretty good groove all over it. I just don't think the top is fast enough right now to go win a heat race.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing now, because transferring off of what we learned last week, and especially from what I've seen here, yeah, the top, I don't think that's going to come in until we get a longer run. 8 laps, not really much time to get that worked in, but it may be worked in a little bit better for some of these later heats if the track stays the same.
That was white flag coming to checkers for Cody Higbee. A move further back to 23 of Winter, trying to upset Holberg. Couldn't do it. They'll finish 1, 2, 3 in that order. Then it's going to be Porter, Sider, DiPietro, and Hilton, the rest of heat number 2. So the top 4 again, they transfer on out of each of these heats. We'll see what heat 3 looks like. Going to start off with Thomas Richard, the 3T, scored as the 300. Then it's Brandon Gruhl in second place. Rolling off in third in heat number 3, going to be Randy the Big Show, Giroux, and the gentleman Maxime Plant out of 4th position. Going back to row 3, Double D, Dylan Davidson in the number 73, Brian Berger there with him in the 60, and to round out our 7-car field, it's going to be Rick Rogalski.
I think this is actually going to be a pretty solid heat race, considering we got Maxime Plant in here, we got Dylan Davidson, we got Thomas Richard. Most of the guys in this heat are actually fairly quick. We've seen a little bit of these guys last week, and just from watching these guys in practice, I think it's going to be pretty tight.
Absolutely, it usually is, and we'll turn these guys loose in just a moment for 8 more laps, and we'll see exactly how tight things get up at the front in particular. I think Gruhl will be able to bring some fight to that number 3T, as well as Giroux down there on the bottom side. He's got a lot of speed as of late, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to really give these guys some trouble up ahead. Don't forget the gentleman Maxime Plant, he had speed last week at Volusia. Changing things up, going to the high banks of Ohio, we'll turn him loose. Ooh, that was a bit of a false start there out of Gruhl, but the start's going to stand. We go green flag racing. It's heat 3.
A little bit of contact going in there. Almost 3 wide coming out of turn 2. Thomas Richard all the way up front. I think it was Brandon Gruhl all the way up to the almost up to the outside wall, excuse me. But you see Randy Giroux holding on to that second spot.
Giroux down to the bottom. He tried to get to the inside of Hilton. He took second away easily there from Gruhl, and Davidson slotted into 4th, but not much has changed since then. Now, Maxime Plant going to try and work the top side to take 4th place back. Can he work his way back into the feature?
So far, so good. Looks like he's going to make a little bit of ground. He's got a little bit of a surge coming out of turn 4 down to turn 1 now. Actually, he's the fastest car on track right now. Definitely making that top side work in his favor.
The top started to come in, but he gets into the back of Gruhl. We saw that hurt Travis Miller last night a couple of times for the Bluegrass iRacing Series. Davidson, a big charge in the bottom. That's going to give Plant a big run down the back straightaway. These guys ebbing and flowing. Now the slider, a little bit anyways, from Davidson, doors the 35 up the racetrack, and Maxime's just looking for a way through. He's got speed, but can't do anything with it. The whole tightens down the backstretch. How about it? This is heat racing, ladies and gentlemen.
This is that tight racing I was talking about, but unfortunately for Plant, this is not. He wants to be on the other end of this. He wants to be in front of it, not behind it. Now he's literally in the middle of it.
Up front, Randy Giroux takes the race lead, it looks like, and no, sorry, still Thomas Richard up front. But this battle at the transfer spot still amazing as Davidson falls out of things. He's going to have to come through the consolations rather, as he is going to finish third place. Thomas Richard wins, and it's Giroux, Gruel, and Plant moving on. Davidson, Berger, and Rogalski will have to come through our consolation races. Trey, these have been great heats. Let's do it one more time. Heat 4 coming at you. It's going to start off like this. Andrew Ferguson on pole. AJ Albretta outside pole. Row number 3, rather. No, row. Yeah. Row number 2. I don't know where I was going with any of that, but row number 2, there we go. Ryan Beagle in the 84. Travis Miller in the 22. Go back. This time it's row 3. Tyler Pachalski, Joe Matthews, and rounding out the field in 7th. Our slowest qualifier, Corby the Beef Daniels. What is he doing? We talked with him a little bit pre-race. We'll have to talk to him some more, try and talk some speed into that 88 car.
Yeah, Corby, I don't know. It looked like in practice he had a little bit of speed going, and then just going into qualifying, I don't know if he was just kind of trying to slow his pace down, trying to get a feel for the car, or just kind of, I'm not quite sure, but hopefully he can get that car fired up, get some speed into that thing.
As always, thanks to our sponsors here at the BRP iRacing series. Bicknell Racing Products, Rival Powder Coating, Sandblasting, MDR Designs, Jam Performance, and Miller's Auto Detailing, the newest addition there for the BRP iRacing series. Getting ready to turn them loose once more. It's the 4th time this evening. Heat number 4 off and away. Albretta with a better start for sure. Wow, I think he might even have a chance to clear Ferguson here on this first lap. He's going to do exactly that. Ferguson falls into 2nd. Now Miller's going to try and take 2nd away. So Ferguson back to 4th.
3 wide out of turn 4. That top side definitely paying dividends now. Albretta and Travis Miller had an excellent start there, excuse me. But they are just using that top side. Now they're able to clear for 1st and 2nd.
Matthews now going to work on the 34 car. Ferguson digging that bottom side still. How about the 1? He's really making it work for him right now, but you can see it's starting to slick off, starting to get real shiny there on the bottom side of the racetrack. The couple of 22s going at it, and oh my, what Travis Miller brings to this conversation. He's got so much speed, so much experience as of late, especially here on PitStop TV. He's always on a hot streak, it seems.
Oh yeah, Travis Miller, he's always in the conversation. I mean, no matter what series heck, he's in what, three races a week that we cover, I think, or at least 2. But like, it seems like we're always talking about Travis Miller. He's always up in the mix. But another guy we don't need to take our eyes off yet, Andrew Ferguson. You know, he's up in the 3rd spot. You know, he's not far behind these guys.
Well, he's still trying to hang on to a transfer, but he has Joe Matthews as a buffer. You see Ryan Beagle there. He's 5th place. He's the first car currently out. Granted, we're only sending 2 home this evening, but he'd like to lock himself in easily, trying to see if he can find a way by Matthews all the way up over the cushion there in 1 and 2. What can he do here in 3 and 4 to round out Heat 4? Up to the top side, and I don't think he's got anything for him. Joe Matthews going to take that final transfer spot for now. Almost contact. Was there contact? Oh, yeah. Ryan Beagle gets up and over off into turn 1 to complete heat number 4. You see the running order on the left side of your screen to round things out. But with that, we go straight in to consolation racing. I guess we can call this B main 1, if we will. Going to look like this. Alan Wills, P1. Then it's Dylan Davidson, 2nd place. Rolling off 3rd, going to be Kevin Hebert, last week's winner, having to come through the consies. Brian Berger there with him. Starting in the final transfer spot will be Brett Haas, and Rick Rogalski will be starting on the outside looking in. So we're sending the back 2 drivers out of each consolation race home. Sorry, the back 2 drivers out of the 2. So the last driver out of each, there we go, will be going home. Currently, that would be Rogalski based on where they start. But, of course, as we know, anything can and will happen in these heats and consolations. This preliminary racing always sets up for great stuff. I mean, we had Brett Haas, unfortunately for him, getting turned up and over in his heat race. We'll see what he can do starting off 5th place in the number 55. And just want to extend a congratulations again to Brett and Abby Haas on the the news that they will be parents very, very soon. And that is always some great news to be able to share to everybody watching. So thank you, Corby, for getting with us about that one. Coming to green flag for our first of 2 consolation races, Will's P1. That was a bit of a jackrabbit start, but they'll go with it. Nope, they're not going to go with it.
Thrown a yellow. We're going to restack them and redo that.
They're not going to go with that one. We're going to run a couple of laps under yellow here. A lot got mixed up right there. I wonder if we're going to see possibly a penalty. Maybe. Maybe not.
They're going to stop right here. So I think they're trying to sort the order out. Oh, no, they had the pace car by, excuse me. That is very important. You need to let the pace car by.
Yeah, it is, and here at iRacing, sometimes it's kind of weird to do so. The pace car sometimes will stop or do some erratic things. I don't think we're going to send anybody to the back. Interesting that we're going to get that yellow real quick. That might have been somebody getting a little bit sideways on that start, but it's going to halt our progress here in the first consolation. I don't see any of the order changing up, so I think it's all going to stand. How about that for a fastest lap? 27.3 from Rick Rogalski. I hope that one stands. No, I don't. We want some green flag racing here in our first of 2 consolations. And again, Wills and Davidson, your front row. Coming back to the green flag. We'll see if we can do it right this time. Again, a very slow start there from Wills.
Yeah, looks like Davidson tried to get a little bit of jump on it, and then he got back off the gas. It could have just been the angle of it there. 3 wide, Kevin Hebert trying to get up into the mix of things.
Yeah, it's like Wills is waiting on the car to completely turn around the corner, but the rest of the field's trying to go. Davidson, he got up into second for now. Oh! Whoa, Rogalski just stopped out of turn 2, but Hebert bringing the fight to Davidson as they go side by side down the front stretch. 5 complete.
Halfway through this consolation race, Hebert trying to get up. He knows he's in the spot to transfer into the A main, but he wants to win to get that to get the best position that he can get to start the A main.
These 2 cars are definitely faster than the 111, but they can't find a way by just yet. Oh, a little bit of contact there, both to the wall and themselves, as Hebert just says, excuse me, I'm going on by, I'm taking this spot for my own. And oh, Haas, he's in a transfer spot, but almost cleans out Dylan Davidson. Now Davidson down to the bottom side. What can he do?
Yeah, the top 4 are under a blanket, if you will. These guys are not giving up. Hard racing right here. This is exactly what you like to see just in any racing right here. These guys know they're going to make it in, but they're trying to make the most of what they can get.
Slide job! How about that from Kevin Hebert? But it's going to throw, oh my gosh, Alan Wills. That might take him out of the race. It does. He's flipped over. That's going to take Alan Wills completely out of it. And Kevin Hebert is going to win our consolation. Then it's Davidson, Haas, Rogalski, Berger, and Wills is going to be on the outside looking in. Brian Berger was, oh my gosh, he came to lap 10 on the outside, not in this race. At the end of it, though, because of Alan Wills getting turned up and over like that, he is going to make it. I wonder if we might see a penalty for Hebert at some point, but unfortunately we can't change the results of that, and iRacing is not going to allow us to change up who transfers, so Alan Wills will still get eliminated and get sent packing this evening. But to start off, consolation number 2, it's going to be Dan Sider on pole. A couple of 84 cars up there. The 84 of Dan Sider, and scored as the 844 is Ryan Beagle. Row number 2 going to look like this. It's going to be David DiPietro on the 68. Then Corby Daniels up a few spots and currently starting in a transfer spot. Then it's going to be Adam Hilton and Tyler Puchalski on the outside looking in based on how they roll off the grid. This is a pretty stacked consolation race. I'm not sure if I can point my finger to anybody who might get taken out of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking that to myself, but from that last consolation, they've definitely got if they want to try to one-up them, they've definitely had to have a race to follow on that one. I think these guys can do it.
They've got their work cut out for them. From Sider up in the front to Puchalski out in the back, we've got 6 cars ready to go. Again, the final of these 6 will get cut from the feature. We'll find out who that is in 10 laps time. Sider gets the start, but oh my, 4 wide back there between the only 4 cars that are back there. And who's going to come out on top? It's Corby the Beef Daniels and Adam Hilton on the bottom side.
Yeah, 4 wide. that's honestly something I was not expecting to see under green flag, but they got through it clean. You see Dan Sider and Ryan Beagle still going side by side, coming to lap number 3. They're going to sort things out. Ryan Beagle's going to go to the top.
We've had a couple of 22s battle. Now we've got a couple of 84s battling as Adam Hilton in the 3, taking the fight to the 88 of Corby Daniels. Here comes Pachalski, though, the 121 right in the middle of the 2, and he's going to take that spot away from Hilton. Now Hilton's got to defend from David DiPietro for the final transfer spot, but you know what? He might have something on the bottom side. No, he's going to lose some speed, and Pachalski and Daniels will get off and away. These transfer spot battles are so amazing in dirt racing, but this one actually might start to get iced away because the 68 is just looking a bit slow there on the bottom.
Yeah, I was wondering why he's the only one trying to run the bottom and everyone's up on the top. You kind of see everyone pulling away. I say that in the 3. Adam Hilton starts kind of running the bottom there. But as you see, he went to the bottom and lost 2 spots.
Yeah, DiPietro's got to start working the top side and figure it out for him. What can he... Oh! Corby Daniels rides the wall down the front stretch. He's going to hang on to a transfer spot for now. He's in 5th. Pachalski, the attic to the basement there. Oh, I don't know what just happened, but everything gets topsy-turvy, and suddenly Pachalski is the final one in. He's got to protect that spot from DiPietro, and he was looking mighty slow out of turn 2 right there. He pulled a hell of a slide job on Adam Hilton, or tried to, and then got very much slowed up. Now he's in 5th.
Yeah, we're looking at the battle right here for the final transfer spot. DiPietro trying his hardest to get up there and past Tyler Pachalski, white flag in the air.
Well, Corby Daniels might do it for him because he gets the wall that time down the front stretch now, pulling a slider on Pachalski. They're gonna wreck one another. Maybe can David get there? Not quite. Maybe does he get Pachalski? No. What? I have nothing for that one.
I don't know if he would have been able to get down on the inside of him, or how much room he had to get down there. But I feel like he had a little more head of steam that he might have been able to edge him out at the line.
Anyways, he is going to get sent home. We'll have to watch that one back afterwards and try to figure out what just happened. But what we can do is see how they're going to shake out to start off our feature event this evening. From Limaland Motorsports Park, Ryan Susi, the pole center. Then it's going to be Cody Higbee starting off in the 2nd position. Starting 3rd, it's going to be Thomas Richard in the 3T, then AJ Albretta in the 22. Michael Hackett will roll off 5th in the 84, Hunter Holberg in the 99. Then it's Randy the Big Show Giroux rolling off 7th, Travis the Thriller Miller in 8th. Dean Meitzer will roll off 9th, and Michael Winner in 10th.
Starting 11th, we have Brandon Grull and Drew Ferguson going to roll off 12th. 13th, Gavin Easel starting 13th. Jamie Porter in 14th. Maxime Plant 15th. Joe Matthews in 16th, Kevin Hebert 17th. Ryan Beagle 18th. And rounding out our top 20 of Dylan Davidson in 19th and Dan Sider 20th.
Rolling off 21st is going to be Brett Haas. Adam Hilton in 22nd. 23rd going to give us Rick Rogalski. 24th, Tyler Pachalski. The back couple of cars this evening going to be Brian Berger. And, David DiPietro does make it. And I don't see Corby Daniels. How about that? I was not expecting that. It threw Corby. He must have had a penalty of some kind. And he gets thrown out of it. Pietro gets let in. Wow. Drama even going into the feature race. But we're going to reset. We've got one heck of a race up ahead. 50 laps around this quarter mile for these guys to decide it. They've got 26 cars in the race field. As we just mentioned, Ryan Susi on pole. Then it's Cody Higbee, Thomas Richard, AJ Albretta, Michael Hackett. Your top 5. The green flag going to fly. And we're racing at Limaland.
Ryan Susi, Cody Higbee. Almost a 3-wide battle going for the lead now. Thomas Richard getting his head up in the mix.
Caution already gonna fly. You see the cars stacked up there in turns 3 and 4. What a start that was. We saw a lot of 2, 3, 4 wide, even just in one lap's time. Caution lap's not going to count for us. That's why the order is getting all mixed around. Let's see what happened. We'll at least try to figure out what happened. Work with us here. There's a lot to try and sort through. We're up a little bit too far in the field, I think. No, it's going to start with Hackett and Giroux, and we can't quite get to it, but now we know where to look for this next replay, and we'll try and get it up for you guys. Oh boy, a lot happening here in the early goings, and yeah, it's going to start off with Hackett and Giroux on the bottom side in 3 and 4. So we'll try and watch it better this time. Giroux down to the bottom. Oh, Hackett just checked up. Giroux nowhere to go, and so is the rest of the field. They have nowhere to go either. Oh, man. But we are going green flag racing, just like the Chili Bowl last night. Very short cautions. Don't get much of a chance to look back at those kinds of incidents. You'll have to bear with us. But we go back green flag racing. These guys are off and away. Susie, Richard, then Albretta, your top 3 across the line.
Yeah, Ryan Susie definitely showing these guys how to get it done. Cody Higbee up into the outside wall, still to keep it going. Travis Miller making his way up towards the front now.
Across the line to complete lap number 3 of 50. There they all go by, zooming by our speed shot. That's one of my favorite angles to use in any kind of racing. Albretta 3rd place, then it's Richard and Susie up ahead. And these front 4 or 5, getting away single file for now, all starting to ride the top side. I thought we'd see these modifieds use the bottom a bit more in the early goings, but if you're up front, no, it's single file up on the top.
Hunter Holberg sitting in P4 right now, his fastest car on track that last time by. Thomas Richards starting to get, looks like he's starting to get a little impatient. Travis Miller going with the top time on track right now. I'd be looking to see Thomas Richard trying to see if he can get around Susie here soon, because, you know, these laps tick away very quick. Before we know it, this race will be over.
That's if we stay green. We already saw how easy it is to get one of these cars turned around through the heats, the constellations, and lap number 1. But Susie still showing the way. You see Albretta, Holberg. Oh, and they're going to make contact. Holberg gets the 22, all kinds of jacked up. A little bit of blinking now as well from the 99 car. We'll see if he stays with us or not. But Miller now going to try to work to the inside of him, leave him some space as he's blinking. Can he throw a move into 1? No, not quite. Can't quite do it. As the 99 is here, then he's not. Here comes Higbee. Can he work on Miller? We've got a caution flag. It's Andrew Ferguson.
Yeah, I know further on back there's a little bit of stack up with some lap cars. I don't know if that had anything to do with that. We'll get a look at that here just to double check and be sure.
Watching the 34 car, and he's going to end up climbing the front stretch wall here in just a moment. Not really sure what leads to it. He's running about 6th, 7th place, it looks like. He just gets too high up the racetrack, yeah, and he gets turned around by Jimmy Porter, and Porter also involved a little bit, but I think he gets away. Oh my gosh, Ferguson was everybody's pinball right there.
But hey, at least he landed back on his wheels.
Yeah, in the end, but then he's turned around and has to get a tow anyway because he's in the middle of the field right there. So he will try and get things turned back around for himself in more ways than one. And Ryan Susie is still going to be our leader. We should be coming to the green flag here momentarily, and we are. Susie going to take the outside line. I'd say that's a wise move, seeing how the race has gone so far. Richard rather than limited to the bottom. What can he do? Look at that amazing start for Susie.
Yeah, but Thomas Richard didn't have that bad of a start down on the bottom. You see, he's trying to use that bottom. He's going to still slot himself into second. Albretta right behind him actually had to let off a little bit to make sure he didn't get into him. Then you see Holberg and Travis Miller, Michael Hackett right there.
Oh, Porter puts Higbee in the wall!
He's around. There's the yellow.
He was flipping at one point there. We'll see what happened to him exactly. Oh boy, queuing up a lot of replays this evening. Let's see what happens to Cody Higbee. Nothing he could have done. There was just a little bit of contact, and he gets sent up and over. This is watching the 97 of Cody Higbee. Comes in a pretty good spot in the point standings, and it's going to happen the next time through 1 and 2. You see he's racing with Hackett there on the bottom side. The white 45, the white and orange 45 Porter, that's who you want to watch because he's going to make a move into 1, and it doesn't quite stick right here. And it just puts Higbee up into the fence. Doesn't go all the way over, thankfully, but does get hit by somebody else and up on his side a couple of times, and that's really going to ruin his race.
Yeah, it's definitely not what you want to see, especially from a guy. I think he started 3rd.
I'm not exactly yeah, he started up towards the front for sure. Wasn't totally sure of where. Susie, Richard, though, the front runners. Then it's Albretta and Holberg top 4. Miller in 5th still. Hackett there in 6th place. Coming around to do it one more time, it's currently lap 11. We'll take lap 12 at the start-finish, and Susie with another big start.
Yes, Susie doing a great job for these restarts. Thomas Richard trying to do what he can on the bottom side. Obviously, you can see the top side is so much more dominant on these restarts. He's still stuck down there, not able to really do much. He's going to lose almost 3 spots.
You know what? These guys need to get single file again to start getting some laps in. Instead, they're 3 wide. The gentleman on the bottom side, Alberta in the middle, double A jump top. There's Hebert, last week's winner as well in the middle of all this. He'll go 3 wide now with his teammate on the bottom. And oh my, they are racing in every nook and cranny of this one. Up front, still Susie. We're watching that battle around the back end of the top 5. Alberta was holding off a couple of Frenchies, and he'll continue to do so as Plant. Oh, he's going to move up in front of Hebert. A big junk! Do they keep racing somehow? They're going to keep racing. How about that?
I mean, those cars were like literally on top of each other, and they managed to keep that going. There's the caution.
We will get a caution flag. It looks like it is for Dean Meitzler now going a lap down with this incident. Let's see what happens to him. He's going to get turned around out of turn number 2. I know that much, but how? That's what we want to know. We're watching the black and blue, number 49. Certainly black and blue after this incident. Oh, he's just going to get hit by Ferguson. And looks like he was out of our rendering for a moment. Then we see him turned around right there. And that's what happens to Dean Meitzler. And then, oh, the leaders come through. Oh, I didn't see that for Richard at first. I think Richard's going to get his spot back, but oh, man, what that could have been.
Yeah, that's definitely not what you want to see. Still a little more contact under yellow, it looked like. Maybe, unless I'm just hearing some crashing on my end, but looks like they've got everything sorted out.
They do for now, and we're coming to, it looks like, the 1 to green. Again, these guys just need to get single file. The double file start's not really helping in that cause. And as so, I think we're going single file starts. How about that? Perfect timing then, I would say. Looks like we'll get a delayed green flag, rather. We are going to double up. I think the field's just a little bit slow to double up, especially with the lane choice there from Ryan Susie. We'll take one more lap around the speedway before we're getting back going.
Yeah, for a second, I was kind of confused because I didn't see or hear anything about a single file restart. But, I mean, I was all for it. It was going to make things a little more interesting, seeing if anybody chose to go to the bottom. But looks like we just had a little bit of a stack up trying to get the field going. But we're going to go back green on lap 17 here. I'm really anxious to see how this is going to go.
Richard kicks that car sideways. He's trying to make something work on the bottom side to overtake Susie. Almost has the chances. I thought Susie was going to get the wall further back. Oh my, Travis Miller gets a little bit jacked up, got a little bit sideways, middle of the corner. These guys still going at it, 3-4 wide. They stay off of one another for now, staying relatively civil. But oh my, what a gaggle the whole field is.
You saw Maxime Plant get lifted into the air there, but he's able to keep it going. Nonetheless, Ryan Susie's still on the point. Thomas Richard behind him. Hunter Holberg following suit in third. And a caution on the racetrack. Cars around in turn 4.
Gavin Eisel, the car is stopped currently, and I'm not so sure he's going to be able to get back going. Lap 19 of 50, we've got another stoppage of progress. And as negative as it might sound, I don't mean it to be, but this is what happens here at Limaland. There's not a whole lot of racing room, and you bring some big block modifiers here. This is going to be the result. Some incident happens with Alberta, and there's nowhere for Eisel to go.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, as you said, the racing gets really narrow here, and you're bringing a big car like one of these 358 modifieds, and just...
Oh, no, these are big blocks.
Oh, big blocks, that's right.
Yeah, these are the big boys.
I'm thinking of the wrong car. Yes, these are much different, much different than a 358. The big boys, yeah, I mean, you're going to definitely run out a lot of real estate here. But as we mentioned here before, now this upcoming restart, might leave these guys a little more room because we are going to single file restarts now.
So how about that? Single file restart's going to maybe string these guys out a little bit, sure. And it might bring lap traffic into things a bit sooner, but it means we could try and get into a rhythm here, which is something we've lacked so far this evening. Coming to lap 20, Susie with a very early restart. See most of the field trying to catch up with him.
See, being the leader, you have the advantage to do that. I don't know if they go I think these guys go on green, but nonetheless, you've seen he's been able to make it work all night, especially being single file like that. You know, you have a much bigger advantage doing so.
The entire field working the top side. It's just a better line right now. We saw Hebert was trying to work the bottom at first, and well, even with a single file restart, it's not gonna. Oh my! We got a car turned around. Rogalski wisely toes right there. But even with the single file restart, not fixing all of our problems. Of course, it's pretty hard to do so back in the field where everybody's mixing things up tooth and nail. Rogalski is going to have some kind of incident here with Albretta, who was in the back after a couple of incidents. And we're going to see Albretta on the top side. Oh, it was actually initially with Porter, and Albretta just kind of fills the hole on the top side. I don't think Rogalski really knew he was there at first. And a little bit of contact, going to turn the 13 car around the wrong way.
Oh man, that was close for those guys coming up. Good for him for being able to get towed in time, because that could have been disastrous.
Definitely almost was. There's the red and black 38. Going to get a delayed yellow once more to try and keep everybody with us. See the order jumbling around. That's because caution laps do not count, and that's what's halting our progress. Through the heats and the consies, it is definitely pleasant to have the caution laps tick away, because if we get a race like this sometimes, man, you just want to try and get through it. Unfortunately, though, you can't have caution laps count through, say, the first X amount of the race, and then not count at the end. So I think in the spirit of trying to give us a green flag finish, I don't really mind this. Trying to give us that green flag finish is very, very important here in dirt racing, but it has given us 6 cautions, 0 lead changes. Of course, it says for 0 laps because we are not counting caution laps. We'll see if one of these lead changes finally comes our way as Thomas Richard tries to work on Susie. The restart is off and away.
Susie again with another spectacular restart. You see Kevin Hebert down, trying to use that bottom, trying to make up time on Travis Miller. Not quite going to get it done yet. Hunter Holberg and Dan Sider right behind him.
Hebert, that very brightly colored 71, working the top, but here comes Sider. I think Sider's got a better grasp on the top side than even Hebert does. It seems like Hebert's a bit of a bottom feeder here. And remember, he was told by his girlfriend to go up top last week. That's what helped him win, but I'm not so sure he's all that great at doing it on the top side here at a higher banked racetrack. Seems like his preference is the bottom for sure, but he's starting to make it work. It's starting to come to him. He's starting to find some more speed, so he's starting to settle in a little bit. Up front, just inside the top 3, how about Holberg with a really good run so far tonight, just sitting there waiting for an opportunity to go at Richard and Susie.
Yeah, Richard definitely over the course of this this current run, he's picked up a lot of speed, and he's closing right in on Ryan Susie. He's been on that bumper for most of this run.
We had a stopped car there in 3 in the little track outlet. You saw that as these cars, the leaders went flying off into 3. Now the move from Richard. Can he get it? Oh! Susie's going to put himself in the wall. Richard's going to take it. Lead change 1 finally comes our way on lap 27. Susie can't do anything just yet. Going to stack them up, and he almost goes around. The caution flag saves him. Oh, my.
It looked like further on in the back, I think Randy Giroux got turned around. We see Jamie Porter there, so I don't know if he got turned around as well in that, but we're going to take a look at that here right for you guys.
It is Randy Giroux that's going to have issues, and he makes contact with Pachalski, then there's Hackett. Oh, and Berger just comes in and body slams the 24, almost turns him up and over. You see everybody scattering down the backstretch. And I think Porter was the car that was stopped on the outside of turn number 3 a few laps back. I think that's why he is stuck in the pit lane after having to tow. But up at the front, finally a change of scenery as Thomas Richard is going to take the race lead. No, he's going to get called back for Susie. Oh my.
They didn't hit the timing line at the time. Oh, man, that's unfortunate. He's got to redo it all over again.
Ryan Susie is given this lead back. We've seen that a few times where they don't complete the lap, so the lead change doesn't stand. It's just barely saved for Ryan Susie. He's going to hold on to P number 1. What can Richard do? Miller down to the bottom. Can he clear Holberg? Couple of teammates going at it for 3rd and 4th. Miller can't get it. Here comes Hebert. What can he do? These two battled last week for the win. Oh, Miller's up in the wall. Davidson now taking a shot at him.
Yeah, we saw Miller last night get up into the wall a little bit at the Bluegrass Chili Bowl, so definitely something he doesn't want to do tonight. But looking further up front, you see Thomas Richards still trying to run down Ryan Susi. Travis Miller trying to still work on Kevin Hebert. Excuse me, reverse the roles there. Hebert still trying to work on Travis Miller.
Miller pulled a hell of a slider to get back by him. Now Hebert's got to contend with the 73 car, much like in the prelims earlier on this evening. Sider now going to join that fight, and they are mixing things up. Beagle Pachalski, they're a little further back, just inside the top 10. We saw Hebert kind of climb the banking. He's okay, stays with it. Up front, you mentioned the battle hasn't gone anywhere. The 3Ts still trying to work on the 38. Let's go on board with Richard and watch the suspension travel. Watch the bumps down the front and back stretch. Oh my, it's like a rallycross course out here.
That's what I was about to say. I never really realized, just kind of watching from these TV angles, how bumpy this track is. And just from looking here, like, I think I might get whiplash from watching this. There's a lot of bumps going on here.
You might get whiplash from watching these TV and onboard cameras, but you can watch them for yourself via Whiplash Media. How about that shameless plug? Racing into lap 35, and it's still Susi and Richard up front. Holberg still third place. Everything sorting itself out. Lap traffic up ahead. Gonna jumble things up. Richard deep into 3. Wow, these guys still going at it. Well, they're not really going at it per se. I think Richard at this point is waiting for his opportunity to come back to him, and he's going to have to wait some more. Caution up ahead. Oh, a car turned up and over. I think that's Berger. It is.
It looked like Berger, and I think it was Brett Haas back there. I could be wrong.
He was one of the cars turned around, yeah, but we'll... Oh, how about that? The 18 going to try and help him out. Will Berger be able to get up and over? I don't think so. Let's take a look back at it here and see how Berger ends up in this predicament. It's going to be through contact with Brett Haas. It's going to come up here out of turn number 2 for the 60 and 55. And boy, this is a heck of a mess. And here comes the 55. 4 wide out of 2. Oh, and then there's some contact with that car up on the top side. That was Maxime Plant, and you see it all transpire from there. Oh my.
Whew. You see, almost... You know, that's kind of like something you see like those monster trucks do. They get turned over, you see them hit the throttle and just kind of roll around till they try to get flipped back over.
Yeah, he was trying for sure, and admirable, there we go, efforts to try and do so. But it's not going to work so well here in one of these big blocks. There's a little bit of overhang. The wheel goes past the fenders a little bit, but it's not quite enough to turn this car up and over. If we were in an off-road truck, he might have a fighting chance, but not so much in these. Coming to 1 to green, I do believe it's lap 36. Coming to 37, we might have a shot at going to the end here, but it might just be a little bit early to do so based on the timing of these caution flags. We'll see what they can do here in just a few moments. Ryan Susi still the race leader. Then it's Thomas Richard, Hunter Holberg, Travis Miller, Kevin Hebert, David Dillison. That was all wrong. Dylan Davidson up in 6th place. It's been a tongue-twisting kind of evening.
It happens to the best of us.
Oh
man, another caution.
And
so we get to tongue twist.
You see the slow car there was Di Pietro, and let's see if we can't find out what happens to him in the number 68. We saw he had problems earlier on in that Constellation, and he's going to have problems again here in the feature. What happens to the 68 car? The whole field gets jacked up. Oh, he makes contact with the 84 of Sider. He's trying to get back going, and by the time the field comes back around... Actually, that may have actually been coming to the greens. So no, those were the leaders after the greens flag. So that is our cause for yellow. Just a little bit of messing around there in the back, some shenanigans and tomfoolery.
Yeah, luckily yellow did come out because they definitely would have came up and more so just sandwiched him in the mix of that, and probably wouldn't have been the best thing to do.
See the pace truck back onto the Ohio dirt, trying to line these guys back up to go at it one more time. Want to thank everybody for watching this evening here on PitStop TV. Of course, a lot of partners to thank with the BRP iRacing series, Bicknell Racing Products, Rival Powder Coatings and Sandblasting, MDR Designs, Jam Performance, Miller's Auto Detailing, as well as our partners here with PitStop TV, Tucson Sound Art, Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine, and Whiplash Whiplash Media, bringing you the sights and sounds of the BRP iRacing series this evening. Let's watch this restart from our speed shot. The race on by. Susie still has the race lead.
Looking further on back, Thomas Richards still hanging on. Hebert trying to use the bottom side, and we have another caution on the speedway.
The gentleman up and over, and he might be done. We don't see it visually, but we see the effect of how that car is crab walking the rear axle, the rear end housing completely knocked out of that number 79, and he will not be able to continue racing quite like that. He might be able to get to his pit stall, but not much further. It's the gentleman, Maxime Plant, turned up and over in turns 1 and 2. We just missed a bit of the contact, but it was with Andrew Ferguson, and he's going to come by and get tagged a couple of more times, and ultimately that's what sent him over when we got to him, but thankfully he rolled back onto his wheels to at least get out of the way of the race leader. So a little bit of contact there with Andrew Ferguson, going to end his night from the looks of things.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate. You know, he was having a pretty decent night. He found his way. I think he found his way eventually up into the top 10, and then unfortunately just a little bit of incidents, got turned around a few times, and he's just kind of been hanging around in the back. And then, you know, unfortunately to have an incident like that, it's going to send him home.
Well, firstly, I want to thank the Statesville, North Carolina Fire Department for being amazing at what they do, but I do want to ask them why they had to go by our house so quickly and so loudly. Sorry about that if you guys heard that. Trey and I both here in Statesville, and I'm sure you probably heard it through both of our mics. Definitely mine, I know, when I was trying to finish up that last thought. That's why I kind of got thrown off. I see red lights, and I just hear a faint siren, and suddenly a few more to follow. We'll go back green flag racing. It's lap 38 coming to lap 39. Susie off and away.
Susie off and away. Thomas Richard, once again, this is something you guys are pretty used to hearing now. We're used to saying it. Trying to follow behind Susie, trying to get that lead, almost a little bit of contact. Still right on that back bumper, trying to get that lead.
Oh my, Richard down to the bottom side. He's going to take that spot back away. He's taken it once before, but hasn't in a while now. The slide job reciprocated, and Susie gets the lead back. They're going to race to the line, but I think Susie even had it the previous lap. He should hold on to the race lead. Wow, a couple of sliders, couple of crossovers, and they just mix it all up once again.
Oh man, that was crazy. That I literally, I think those sirens must have kicked me into gear, because before I was just kind of sitting here, and now I'm up on the edge of my seat, and that action definitely had me looking.
Gavin Eisel going to be the cause of this newest caution flag. He's ripping the top side here, and I think he might just make a mistake all on his own. Yep, exactly that. Rides the wall a little bit, gets turned up and over, and that's the end of his night from the looks of things. So the number 18 might actually need a visit from our Statesville, North Carolina Fire Department, as he will likely take an early exit from the speedway. Ryan Susie then, still the race leader despite those slide jobs and crossovers. You see Maxime Plant getting caught up to the back end of the field. We're going green this time by at the Limaland Motorsports Park. Ryan Susie in control. What can he do? Thomas Richard looking so good. You see Susie climb the hill to try and get a good start, but Richard played it better. He's right with him.
Ooh. A little bit of contact there going into turn 1. But I wouldn't count out Holberg, Travis Miller, or Hebert. They are still in the mix back there.
9 laps to go across the stripe that time. Another caution flag, guys. Oh my.
Man, after that, Hunter Holberg actually got up into the catch fence and did a little bit of some Logan Seavey action. He was able to get that car going still.
There's a lot of carnage back here, and it's all coming in the back. These guys get mixed up into a bunch of lines, and they keep giving us these stoppages of action. I think it's going to happen ahead of Dean Meitzler. Yeah, it is. Oh, and Brandon Gruhl gets turned around, and you see the effect of all of that anyways. Ferguson comes flying in there, and a little bit of contact. They get all sorts of messed up. And that is going to bring us our latest caution flag. But Susie still going to be in control up in the front. And I'm waiting for these slide jobs and crossovers once more. It's been so fun watching them go at it so far. But, boy, I don't know if there's too many more of those moves in it for Thomas Richard.
Yeah, I'm sitting there thinking that, because typically you'd think cautions are going to help the leader because, you're taking laps away. But, as we mentioned earlier, caution laps don't count here. So being up front and knowing you have somebody like that behind you, and it's getting, down to the nitty gritty here, I'd be more anxious than anything right now, just knowing Thomas Richard is able to throw these moves. And if something happens there, Travis Miller is right in the catbird seat to take over.
You heard the extended caution flag, going to keep us lined up here to go green flag this time by. It's Susie, it's Richard, it's Miller actually over Hulberg now. And no, Hulberg has fallen out of this thing. I don't know how I missed that. But anyways, the top 5 getting mixed up, mostly the same players. We go back green flag racing. How about Ryan Beagle a little ways further back? He's in 6th. Susie gets turned maybe! Into turn 3, Susie still on the top side. Richard got into him a little bit. Hebert now working the bottom. He's technically into 2nd, and a caution again!
Ooh, that's going to be close across the timings board. I don't know if Hebert got him.
It's Rogalski this time. We'll go back and try and find out what happens to him. Oh, and this one, he might have... Is he out of fuel or something? I don't really know, but he's going to be stopped on the racetrack here in a moment. Rick Rogalski is... Oh, this isn't even for an incident this time.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Maybe, maybe he had a hardware failure or something, or maybe... I've had that happen to me. Maybe his wheel recalibrated. I don't know.
Well, he just pulled up and came to a slow stop, but he's going to go back on by. I don't think it was any kind of hardware issue. Maybe trying to stop for some kind of penalty or something, but got to do it off in the pit lane. That was on the racing surface. Brings out yet another caution flag, and we'll re-rack them, restack them a little bit in our single file little row. Now 13 caution flags. Let's hope we don't get to 14 here. We only have a few more laps to try and do it. We're on lap 44, coming to lap 50 momentarily. It's still Susie, still Richard, and now Hebert up into 3rd place. So something did change. Richard into 4th, Davidson in 5th. How about Dylan Davidson? He's been so good since leaving the booth, but we do miss him up here. Green flag flies once more. We're back at it.
Back at it again, as you said, side by side. Hebert trying to make that bottom work. He's still going to be side by side for the 2nd spot, trying to see if he can get a slider to work. I don't think he's going to quite get it yet. Thomas Richard going to go down to the bottom now. Going for a slide job for the lead. He's going to make it work.
The crossover from Susie. Now another slider. The attic to the basement, back to the attic, but he's going to get crossed back up. Richard back to the bottom side. Noses ahead at the line. That would have been a photo finish now. Lap 47 of 50. Richard's got it, but here comes Susie. Can't quite get there. Another slider.
While they're doing this, that just brings Kevin Hebert right up into the picture. Here comes Travis Miller to the outside.
Miller working on 2nd place. He's going to take it for now. 3 wide. No, he's not going to get it. Susie back up in front of him. How about these guys? That's extra awareness out of 2. Another caution. That's 14.
Oh, man. That was fantastic.
Oh, it's Dylan Davidson.
Oh, man.
Oh,
He's having such a good night.
He was having more than a good night. I mean, he was having one of those amazing runs. He's going to have some kind of issue way beforehand. He's got a lot of front-end damage. Must have hit one of those cars as they were stopped on the racetrack somewhere. Matthews is on the bottom. And let's see, what happens to Davidson? We went back a little ways early to try and get a look at what happens. Matthews working the bottom side. Davidson the top. And it's going to happen right here. Does he make his own mistake? He sure does. And he's just going to get caught up in the wall, turned up and over. Oh, my.
Man.
Thankfully, no one hits him.
I mean, he was, running in the 4th or 5th spot right there?
Yeah, restarted 5th and had a really good shot at things. Unfortunately, though, taken out of it, thrown to the back end of the field. And Susie is going to have to try and go on the offensive this time. Changing things up for P1 is going to mean that Thomas Richard suddenly in the catbird seat. We're going to have 3 to go at the line. No, we're going to have 2 to go at the line. They go green flag racing once more.
Thomas Richard able to know when to restart there, and he did an excellent job timing that. And we're coming up to the white flag this time by.
White flag, Richard running away with it. Can he hold on? Susie trying to get there. He's going to go down to the bottom side, see what he can find. The slider not going to pay off just yet. Makes up a lot of time. What can he do in 3? Richard going to protect. He can't do anything. Thomas Richard sliding out of 4. Oh my, Travis Miller, does he get second place? I think he did. Wow.
What a run for Travis Miller. Wow.
Ryan Susie suddenly gets thrown to the bottom step of the podium in what was one of the closest finishes I have ever seen for second place.
That was absolutely incredible.
It took a while to get to this point. It took a few extra caution flags in between, but we do have a race winner. It's going to be Thomas Richard. He worked on Ryan Susie for so long, finally gets his way by in the number 3 team. We'll be talking to him shortly, along with Miller and Susie. Do not go anywhere. This is PitStop TV's continuing coverage of the BRP iRacing series.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Sound Art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it Sound Art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound Art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
Want to welcome everybody back. It's been a really rough night. Want to welcome everybody back. There we go. I don't know where my tongue was going on that one, but want to welcome everybody back to PitStop TV, continuing coverage of the BRP iRacing series. You just saw one heck of a thriller from Limaland again. Took a few cautions to get there, and restarts with the name of the game. Ryan Susi leading tons of laps, but couldn't quite hang on to it over Thomas Richard. Want to mention that I thank everybody for tuning in over on Facebook, chatting it up. Very sad that we couldn't keep up with you guys, of course, through all of that racing, but love to see that you guys are out there and talking about the BRP iRacing series in our Facebook chat. Let's quickly move right into our post-race interviews, beginning with Thomas Richard, our race winner. Thomas, it wasn't always easy, wasn't always looking like you were going to get a fair shot, a fair crack at Ryan, but you finally get him in the closing restarts, and you hang on those last couple of ones.
Yeah, it was really tough. I had to be patient behind Ryan. I did be patient all the race. I was just waiting for him to do an error, and when he was doing one, I just throw a slide job to maybe catch him, and every time I just had a yellow flag, and I was obligated to restart behind him.
Yeah, of course, we saw Ryan was playing those restarts there for a while, as he's allowed to do as the race leader, but then you started to figure them out for yourself. You started to get amazing runs to the inside of him at the green. What was it that allowed you to figure that out, exactly how to be right there with him on the restart and not let him get the best of you?
When I was behind him, and I was trying to just stay near the wall, I wasn't able to stay just behind him. So when I was going down, just a bit down than Ryan, I was able to just keep the momentum with him.
And it certainly ends up working out for you. You win here at Limaland. Who do you have to thank for your win tonight?
I want to thank Kevin Eberth and Maxim Plan to support me, and we have a lot of fun together. And I want to thank Richard Rose Racing Team to support me every race and every live on Facebook.
Absolutely. You had some fans talking about you there in the Facebook chat. Thanks for your time tonight, Thomas. Congrats on the win. We'll talk to you next week at Eldora.
Thank you.
That's Thomas Richard winning this evening. Only 4 laps led when it's all said and done, but leads the most important of all 50. He wins at Limaland, and we'll move it on down to Travis Miller, P2.
Travis Miller, no stranger to the PitStop TV booth. Man, we are struggling with words today, but Travis, you are not struggling on the racetrack. You come home with a P2 finish. Talk us through those last 10 laps or so.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. The amount of cautions are obviously frustrating. You never really want to see that. If there was a lot of green flag racing, it might have been a lot different. But that top line there was just getting real dicey, and I think Kevin kind of showed Thomas and Ryan the bottom side there, and I think they thought it was going to be a little bit better, which I was really praying for, to be honest. I really wanted them to just stay as low as possible because I was getting monster runs on the top, but they had the track position, and I think that's what really paid off.
Yeah, notice track position was really key. We saw the top definitely come in, at the latter half of the heats, and then the consies, then obviously a little bit, most of the race was ran up top, but we saw a lot of people starting to go to the bottom. I was watching you in particular. You would go to the bottom, then go back to the top. So obviously those sliders worked there for you, and then obviously you were able to use the top side to come up to finish second and just barely edge out Ryan. But man, let me tell you, I think I've watched you finish second place on dirt 3 times the last week. When are we going to see you in victory lane?
Yeah, hopefully next week. That's pretty much the story of my last month or so on iRacing. I've been finishing second a lot, and I can't seem to get it done. But hopefully for this new season, we can get the monkey off our back soon and rack up a couple wins.
Well, hopefully, I'd say, what can we expect for you from Eldora next week? But we know we're expecting a win. So on that note, who makes it happen for you before we let you go?
Oh yeah, thanks guys. I just gotta thank Miller's Auto Detail, BT Sports really does for me, the BRP series, Jam Performance, and just the guys that we're racing with in this league. they try their best out there, and we're all trying to get 110%. And sometimes tempers flare, but at the end of the day, we're all just guys trying to have fun on a Monday night here. So I'm just gotta thank them for always coming out, and thanks to you guys for putting us on.
Well, we appreciate covering you. I'm sure we'll be talking to you on Wednesday, and I'm sure we'll probably be talking to you next Monday.
For sure, guys. Thanks. I appreciate it.
All right, have a good night, man. That second place finisher, Travis Miller, had a little bit of a blank there. And we're going to hand it back to Andrew for third place finisher, Ryan Susi.
And Ryan Susi ran a hell of a race, but in the closing laps, really the closing restarts, it came down to getting the best launch. Suddenly, Thomas Richard had you figured out. What could you do to try and defend?
I don't know if there really was anything I could have done there. Thomas is one heck of a driver. We've raced with him now the last couple of years here with the BRP series, and I seen Kevin on the bottom too. Travis was behind me. I pretty much had all the superstars right on my tail. And, thankfully, I didn't pack it in the fence or do anything too silly, so coming away with a third. I wish we could have held Travis off there at the end. I spun the tires off him for a bit, but I don't really know what I could have done any different other than just be a little better on that last restart. I got lucky a few times with cautions coming out when he got me, and we'd revert back a lap and such, but he drove me really clean, so hats off to Thomas, and congrats to him on the win.
Yeah, well, what's the mindset like when you end up getting passed up, but because of the way the caution comes out, you get that lead back, and you just kind of reset, probably a little bit annoyed that you got passed, but now you have the opportunity to hold him off one more time?
It's a little nerve-wracking around this joint because the fast way for 40 so laps was right around the top, and if you missed it by an inch, you're going to be up in the fence. So I was trying to stay as high as I could and not jump it, but you had to really almost touch the right rear on the wall. So a few times I actually came off it a little bit too far on entry and slid into it. Thomas would get a real good run on me, and I think that was actually the first time he passed me when I did that. So then I kind of just told myself, all right, got to risk it for the biscuit, get up on the top, and don't be afraid to knock the quarter off. And luckily, I was pretty clean for most of the race, so it was a good deal. I was just real happy to, like I said, to race with Thomas and Trav and all those guys, because if you're up there running with them, you're obviously doing something right.
Well, third doesn't win you quite as many biscuits as first place, but you'll still get a few. Wanted to ask real quick before we let you go. We were compiling some nicknames for drivers, and you race in real life. What's yours when you go to your local track?
Around here they call me the Ransomville Renegade because at our home track when I was a young kid, starting out in modifieds, 9 times out of 10 I was either in a wreck or in a fight with somebody, so I kind of got the moniker of the bad guy for quite some time, but I think the older I get, more I've calmed down a bit. I don't know if I'm really deserving of it anymore, but it still fits, so.
Alright, we'll have to make note of that for next week. Can't quite get in fights here on iRacing. You surely can get in those great battles. You were in a couple tonight, unfortunately, on the back end of them, but I'm sure we'll be talking to you next week. Who do you have to thank, though?
I just want to thank Beef and all the guys at Beef Esports and the BRP series here, Rival Powder Coating, JM Performance, MDR Designs, Not Just Another Racing Podcast, and all you guys at PitStop for putting this on. Last week they set records for us in terms of the views that we've ever had. The broadcast is great. You guys do a great job, so I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much, Ryan. We'll be talking to you next week, like I said, I'm sure. If not then the week after. Have a great night.
Yep, thanks, guys.
That's Ryan Susi finishing third place tonight. And, boy, that 38 does look good. He had more of kind of a white look last season. This season going for a bit more red in his paint scheme, but it always looks good. Trey, it was certainly one heck of a race this evening. Through the heats, the Cotsies, the feature itself, a lot of things got mixed up, but the results look like this. He's scored his 300, but it's the 3T. Thomas Richard gets the win here at Limaland, and it's Travis Miller just barely edging out Ryan Susi. Kevin Hebert's going to finish 4th place after his win at Fallujah. Then it's AJ Albretta, Joe Matthews, Cody Higbee, Tyler Pachalski, Ryan Beagle, and Dan Sauter, your top 10.
Outside the top 10, we got Michael Winter in 11th, Adam Hilton 12th, Randy Giroux finishes 13th, Jamie Porter 14th, Michael Hackett 15th, David DePetro finishes 16th, Words are not my strong suit tonight. Sorry about that, guys. Andrew Ferguson in 17th, Maxime Plant in 18th, Brian Berger 19th, and Hunter Holberg 20th after heartbreak after being up front most of the tonight.
21st, we'll get Brandon Gruel. Then it's going to be Dean Meitzler, Brett Haas, a couple of guys that had speed earlier on, especially Brett Haas, but just couldn't overcome a bad result in his heat race after getting turned up and over in some netcode contact. Rick Rogalski comes in 24th. Then Dylan Davidson, another piece of heartbreak there for him. Running so good up into the top 5 once more, just like Volusia, but makes his own mistake, gets caught up, and goes all the way back to 25th position. Certainly not indicative of his performance. Then you've got Gavin Eisel, another pretty rough night there, 11 laps down in 26th position. Again, a wild ride this evening, but we want to thank those who allow us to do it. It's Bicknell Racing Products, it's Rival Powder Coating Sandblasting, it's Matt DeRitter Designs, Jam Performance, and Miller's Auto Detailing for the BRP iRacing series. Also, massive shout-outs, as always, to Tucson Sound Art, your picture, your music. You provide the image you want, and they'll custom create a beautiful framed, high-quality canvas with a built-in Bluetooth speaker. With Sound Art, you get the best of both worlds. Visit TucsonSoundArt.com for additional information. Use promo code PitStopTV when you go to Tucson Sound Art for 10% off of your purchase today. Of course, also want to thank Permanent Makeup at Cryo in Maine, longtime supporters here at PitStop TV, and Whiplash Media doing all the graphics, camera work, and everything else for us here for our broadcasts. That is going to do it. That is going to conclude our coverage tonight of the BRP iRacing Series Big Block Modified Tour. We at PitStop TV thank you for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action. We hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Be sure to join us at 10 p.m. Eastern. That's only in 20 minutes. That's why we're getting off air a little bit early real quick. Give them a chance to warm up and get things ready for the Pacific Challenge GT3 Series at Detroit Belle Isle. Again, that's in just 19 minutes now. Here on PitStop TV, all of our platforms, you can watch some amazing GT3 racing. Do not miss it. It's the lone street course of the season at Detroit. We also have action tomorrow night, a bit more of road course racing. At 8 p.m., we have the Operation E Motorsports return to America's most famous road racing venues. And Wednesday this week, even at 9 p.m., as the Bluegrass iRacing Series takes to the famed North Wilkesboro Speedway. You can catch all this action, of course, all of our platforms here at PitStop TV. Make sure to follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/PitStopTV, over on Twitter at PitStopTV_, on Twitch, www.twitch.tv/Pit_Stop_TV, and on YouTube at www.youtube.com/C/PitStopTV1. For all of PitStop TV, Trey Patton with me on the mic, Trey Shuttlesworth on social media. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time, preferably here in just 18 minutes for some Pacific GT3 action at Detroit.